I'm BobRauch, and I'm the president of the North Sound Conservancy. We are a grassroots citizens group dedicated to the preservation and improvement of parks and public lands here in the state of Washington. We have about 250 members, most of whom come from Skagit or Whatcom counties. And on this particular day, Earth Day 2010, we're actually over here at Larrabee State Park helping with some park cleanup activities and working with the staff here. Our group is very interested in the preservation of existing parks because of the budget pressures in the state of Washington. We've talked with the rangers here, and their staff is very limited funds to help maintain the park. So we believe it's becoming increasingly important for volunteer groups like the North Sound Conservancy to help maintain our existing parks. And of course, here at Larrabee, this was the first state park established in the state of Washington, and it's just a beautiful spot. So it's our privilege to help a little bit today. We also, of course, are interested in laws and legislation that affect the formation of new parks, particularly those that are established under the so-called Metropolitan Park District Law. This law was passed quite a long time ago and was amended in 2002. And some of those amendments certainly were helpful, but others we think may have diluted the law from its original purposes. Originally, it was really intended to help local groups establish new parks, new small parks within metropolitan areas. Under the amendments that were passed in 2002, we believe the legislature, probably unintentionally, allowed the use of that law to create much larger parks through citizen petition, where it wasn't necessary to have the consent of all of those who would be included within the park district. But one of our objectives as the North Sound Conservancy is to make sure that if new parks are established under the Metropolitan Park District Law, that they have the full support of those that would be included within their borders. And so for that reason, we have been promoting, along with Representative Jeff Morris and others, amendments to the Metropolitan Park District Law that would ensure that any new park district that's created by citizen petition has indeed the consent of a majority of those who would be included, specifically if the park district spans, say, 2 or more political jurisdictions, such as counties or cities, that to be included in that park district, there must be a majority vote in favor of that park district for each separate jurisdiction which would be included within its boundaries. We believe that only makes sense. It's consistent with the notion of no taxation without representation. So we are working with Representative Morris on House Bill 1881. It passed the House 2 years ago. This year, because of the short legislative session, there really wasn't an opportunity to have it considered again. But we hope to work with Representative Morris to have it reintroduced next year. And among the other reforms that bill would do would to make sure that before new parks are created, there's a full review under the State Environmental Policy Act. We want to be sure that the board that governs those parks does so with, again, the full consent of those who are resident within the parks. And specifically, we don't feel it's appropriate that board members for parks created by citizen petition would have the power to exercise eminent domain. We think this is a very controversial use of state power. Even those groups that have supported the formation of new park districts in general, we believe, have agreed that that's not an appropriate power for the commissioners of those citizen-created park districts. So these are some of the reforms that we are working with the legislature on, while at the same time, of course, trying to get legislation and funding to support parks such as Larrabee here. We really feel that the first priority needs to be the maintenance of the existing parks, the preservation and improvement of those parks. And at this point, there's certainly a lot that needs to be done. So with your support, we believe we can make progress in this area, and we appreciate all of those who are part of the North Sound Conservancy.